Hey peeps, Melissa Carver here. This is my husband, Leo Carver.
Hey everybody.
We just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about how the COVID 19 is affecting our lives outside of just the quarantine, how there's a lot of mental and emotional factors that we need to all stop to observe and take a look at and maybe sit with for a moment and work through. This can make you feel like your life is in chaos and you're out of control. And we can also start to lose factors in time and space, what day it is, direction. We don't have a schedule. If you're used to working outside of the home, then you have your daily schedule and your routine that you go through, and now your routine has been thrown off. So, how we decide to handle those things are going to give us an opportunity to use this space to do some healing work.
Yes, it's a good time to do that because you have nothing else to focus on but yourself. I mean, of course, you have your menial tasks and your regular everyday that you still have to take care of, but it's a great time to really center and take some time to be still. You don't have anywhere to go, or at least you can find some time during the day for sure, where you have nowhere to go and nothing to do. And so that's a good time for us to look in.
We can use this time to meditate, to journal, to do some breath work, which at the end of this video, I've asked Leo to do some pranayama exercises with us. He knows quite a few of those that are very beneficial. So if you would like to stay on until the end, we're not going to make this a very long video just because I would like to cover different topics separately, but this is really our first video together. So this is more of an introduction, and let's kind of lay the groundwork for some things that we can do in the upcoming weeks and not stop after the quarantine is over. One of the main things I wanted to discuss with you all is the time factor. I know that I do actually do a lot of work from home outside of events and speaking at events. And even myself, I've noticed that I'm like, well, I don't even know how long it's been since I did a particular thing that I usually do, let's say once a week. I have no real concept sometimes of time, space, and years anyway, but this seems to really bring that home because Leo has been home more, the kids have been home more, so I'm catching myself having to go look at the date and feeling like, wow, it's been way more time that has passed. So all of us, I think, complain that we don't have enough time to do particular things. And this is really bringing in an awareness of how much time really is in a day and how much of that do we feel with other responsibilities outside of what our soul really desires on a normal basis.
And I also feel you made a point there. This is a good time to realize that time is relative. You know, when you think about it, and this is something that I have personally thought about here recently. You know, when you have something to do, you have a job you go to, or you have some kind of duty, some event, you are pretty much a slave to that event during that time. And in the sense that you have to prepare and you have to do everything towards, you know, going to work or whatever it is you're going to do. But in a time like this, you are the central focus of your time. And that's actually a blessing. You know, we can take this time and worry about what we're not doing or what we could be doing. Or, especially those of us who have been on this journey and do want to find better wellness practices and stuff, this is perfect for you. This is a time for you to just stop and, what do I have to do? Where do I have to go? You know, who am I? If you want to go even deeper than that. You know, a lot of times we base our identities on our actions and the duties that we have and the titles we have. But right now, you don't have a title. Hopefully your job's still intact and whatever else you still have to do out in the world is still there. But let's step back from that for a minute. You don't have to worry about that at the moment. So who am I? What is there really for me to do other than eat and take care of the normal menial tasks? It's a good time to ask those questions and wait for the answers. Listen, actually receive the answers to that, because normally you're probably too busy to really hear.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And those of you who meditate know that that's really the point of meditation, is to turn on our intuitive process so that we can hear the voice of our higher self in the universe speaking to us, giving us direction for the next move. And if you've never meditated before, I highly recommend you use this time to get started in a practice. Just 3 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. You don't have to start sitting in some long 20-30 minute meditation. And I know that that can give you anxiety. I'm a very hyperactive person, and when I first met Leo, he was already a meditator, and it's something that I just talked myself out of for a really long time, because I told myself I had so many other important things to do, or I couldn't sit for that long. He used to say that he had to hog tie me to get me to watch a movie, but
it's a true story.
But if we take that time, then it becomes a tool for us to open up even more time, and we do things in a more productive manner. It's really just an amazing tool. And like I said, just 3 minutes a day, and I know that you have that time right now. And some pranayama exercises, some breathing techniques to help you take control of any anxiety that you may be feeling right now. I think right now is a time that some people that maybe have never known what anxiety is actually facing that right now, with such uncertainty of what is going to happen once the quarantine is over. So I want to hand over.
You brought up a point there that I just for a second like to speak on. That anxiety that you are feeling, if that is you, or if you're perceiving that in others, a lot of that is that identification with those duties and those titles, those hats that you wear on a normal basis. What are you anxious about? This is literally a time, despite all of the negative that's going on, or that's perceived, this is a time when you really, what else is there to do? And some people struggle with that because they identify themselves. And this is one of the great mistakes that we as human beings are born into and learn from others. We identify ourselves with the things we do. We identify ourselves with others and all this existential character stuff, person stuff. But who are you really? And that's something that we all need to find in ourselves. It does take some reflection. But like you said, it's just about, it's a priority thing. You brought up pranayama. Well, that's something you can do while you're doing other stuff, really. The one that I would like to share is called the Nadi Shodhana, and it does require hand placements, which we'll go over. But in general, there's some pranayama exercises that are just how you breathe at that moment. And you can do that from anywhere at any time. And it's just about focus. And that's really, I guess the point is that what's important to you. This is a time to get back in touch with that and to realize that for yourself. The answer should be you, at the core. But we all have our answers to that. What's really important? Who am I? What do I need to do?
What is your higher self trying to guide you to right now?
Right. It's a time out from all the normal nonsense that, hey, no matter how important it is, I'm going to call it nonsense because we're getting back to a primary sense of self. So none of this matters is more important than that. So if we're talking in these terms, your focus, I would think, would be on wellness, well-being, peace, love, some of these ideas that we may toy with in our mind or think we have some concept of. Now's the time to really get in tune with that.
So, would you like to lead us in a pranayama?
Okay, so now it's time for a little pranayama practice. This one we're going to cover today is called Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternate nostril technique. And what you want to do with this is you want to take these two fingers, and you may have seen this in different styles in the yoga and meditation community. It's the one I prefer. And you want to take these two fingers, put them directly on your forehead. And you want to take your ring finger and pinky finger and cover your left nostril. Take your thumb, cover your right nostril. Leave them open for now and take a deep breath in. And then breathe out through your nostril as well. After you fully breathed out, close off your left nostril with these fingers and breathe in solely through your right side. And as you're doing this, it helps to visualize and actually see the air. Imagine it going in through this nostril, entering into your brain, to your head, kind of swirling around. And then what we're going to do on the out breath is close the right nostril off and breathe that breath out through the left side. Then on your next in breath, you're going to keep this nostril closed, the right side, and breathe in through the left. Now you see where this is going? We're going to alternate. It's going to do the same thing. This air is going to travel in, come out. You're going to close off your left nostril and breathe that completely out of the right side. Now, typically this is recommended that you do it 6 rounds of this. You probably, especially if you've never done this before, will feel an effect almost immediately from doing this. It's very good for you to do it, and I would recommend it daily even if you have that time, which right now you should. Preferably in the morning. It's a good refresher for you to get that prana in. So we'll just do a couple rounds, okay? In, out. In, out. That's one round. And it also helps to make sure these are natural breaths. Don't try to force them in and out. Use your abdomen and just let the air flow. This practice is good for centering and bringing stillness to the mind and peace. It's also just very refreshing for your respiratory system. Try it out. You'll see for yourself.
Thank you, Leo. That was awesome. Another important reason to do a pranayama right now is, as we all know, the COVID-19 does attack the lungs, and that's going to help strengthen that for you right now. So I wanted to remind you to please subscribe, ring my bell, and next Sunday we are going to come on and talk about some journaling that you can do during this time. So thank you.
Y'all be safe out there.